What is up, guys? It's Fernando back with another video. Today we'll be doing my WWE Night of Champions recap and review. The card overall I thought was just a mid card overall, but the way it ended, it was able to exceed expectations. Look what happens when WWE has some balls. They pull the trigger and they shock us, and they do something that we didn't think was coming. They're able to. We don't know where anything can go from here. There's multiple. It's just good. Like it makes me want to tune in every single week to what WWE is going to put out on Monday and Friday, and all the pay-per-views going forward. And it's just all it took was them for just for them to pull the trigger, and that's it. So let's get into it. We're just gonna immediately start off with the main event with Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the WWE Championship match. WWE Championship. At first, we start off with them basically taking one of the competitors out of the frame, and then it turns into 1v1s in the ring for the most part. For the sort of beginning of the match, we get a nasty powerbomb counter by Sami Zayn. He's turning it into a roll-up, but the match really picks up and at the end when all three competitors are starting to go back and forth. We have a point where Sami Zayn pulls the ref out from keeping Cody from winning the match. We have the opposite where Cody pulls the ref out to keep Sami from winning the match. They go on to the outside, a back body drop from Cody Rhodes to Sami Zayn through the announce table, a double power bomb through the announce table to Cody Rhodes by Gunther. And they just continue going back and forth. There's another little spot where Sami Zayn puts a water bottle on the table, smacks the water bottle. I thought that was funny just to keep that up, that small part of Sami Zayn. And we get all three players get back in the ring and basically get into a sleeper off with all three hitting sleepers, and but he eventually ends with Gunther trying to hit a sleeper on Sami Zayn, him hitting a sleeper on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is passed out, but Sami Zayn stops Cody's hand from falling, which keeps the match going. That was brilliant. I really like that small tidbit there. But it ends with Sami and Gunther doing sleepers back and forth. Gunther gets the upper hand, gets a sleeper on Sami, and Cody Rhodes hits a double crossroads to both of them while Gunther is still in the sleeper. I thought that was great. And Gunther rolls out of the ring, and Cody's going for maybe that triple crossroads, which Sami drops down and rolls Cody up, and we have a new WWE champion. This was shocking. I wanted this result to happen. I've said it in my prediction video. I wanted this result to happen. I just didn't think WWE would be able to pull the trigger with SummerSlam just around the corner. And they did it anyways. And they did it in the perfect spot in Saudi Arabia. Because no matter what, the fans were going to cheer him. No matter the result, no matter what everything that goes on in the United States, the fans were going to cheer Sami regardless because they were in Saudi Arabia. But I was thrilled that this happened because I just didn't think WWE was going to pull the trigger. They actually shocked us. They had the balls. They had the courage. They had the thought like, maybe we should give these fans something to intrigue and have mystery going forward and not just the same old repeat where Cody retains and we have the two biggest names at SummerSlam. Like, this gives us a road to SummerSlam that can go any direction, and I loved it. Sami Zayn's reaction, like he was in complete shock. The fans, they lost their mind when I saw that roll up, and I'm like, Cody's 100% going to kick out. They're not going to roll Cody up, but they did it anyways. I'm sorry, I got a badass dog here, and he's making a bunch of noise, so excuse that if you hear it in the background. But I am so happy WWE did this, and going forward, I mean, Cody, he's their top guy. He is the top babyface, so he can do anything. And as for Gunther, it sucks for Gunther because I don't know exactly where they go from here, if he's going to continue to feud with Cody and Sami. There's not too many directions you can go from here. But regardless, I just don't care because I am glad that we got something. And with this whole storyline, Gunther and Cody just weren't doing nothing. WWE, obviously, the booking was horrible on their end. And the only reason it was intriguing was because Sami Zayn was doing such great work. And they finally rewarded someone for doing good work, and they put the title on Sami Zayn. I am so excited to see where this goes. Yeah, I can't wait. So this one gets a triple thumbs up just because of the shock factor. Then we get to Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship match. This match was actually pretty good. These women have had matches in the past, not too much hype behind them, but this match was, I would say, probably their best match. They looked the most smooth in this match. Nothing too crazy, But it obviously ends with the baddies coming out trying to distract Tiffany Stratton. Chelsea Green comes out, taking out the baddies. Jade brings her in the ring, starts taking her out. And then we have Charlotte Flair up here. She takes the title and hits Jade, pretty smooth it over, and Tiffany Stratton retains the Women's United States Championship title. I thought this was a good call. I predicted Tiffany was going to retain. I predicted maybe some possible shenanigans with the baddies, but I'm glad they did that. So Tiffany can continue building up that mid card, carrying that mid card on her back, because that's what she's gonna have to do. So the title on her is good. But as for Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair, obviously Jade Cargill essentially cost Charlotte Flair in the Queen of the Ring. So she gets her get back here and cost her the United States Championship match. Boom, feud. There we go. We have something. And everyone knows I'm not the biggest fan of either Charlotte Flair or Jade Cargill, but their statures, their in-ring style, I think they can mesh really well, and we can get a good old-fashioned grudge match between a top star, Hall of Famer, Charlotte Flair, and a younger, not young necessarily young, but struggling personality-wise with Jade Cargill, and with Charlotte Flair being loved now. Her work as a babyface has been good, and obviously, I don't think anyone really likes Jade Cargill. I feel like it could do wonders for both, especially Jade Cargill. So I'm glad to see this rivalry, and maybe it evolves into the main event scene eventually. But for now, I'm just glad we're more than likely going to get that feud going forward. Then we have Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints for the men's United States champion. This match wasn't nothing bad. It was kind of just like a normal SmackDown match that we got here. A little funny spot. Ricky Saints pulls an Eddie Guerrero. He gets Lil Yachty kicked out from ringside, but it ends just with Trick Williams just being the better man and taking out and winning against Ricky Saints. Predicted this. This was kind of an easy call. Like I said, Ricky Saints, he can continue being that nuisance in the mid card. Possibly just work harder and harder to get some sort of crowd reaction, because he's just not getting it. He didn't get it here in Saudi Arabia, so maybe I feel like he's going to need a lot of work, a lot of time for Ricky Saints to even get what WWE wants him to get to. I just don't see it in him, but I'm gonna give him time. But like I said in my prediction video, this was just a filler feud for Trick Williams to eventually get to Carmelo Hayes, which they have to do at SummerSlam. So that's my prediction going forward. So overall, nice to see the United States Championship on a PLE, but nothing too crazy, not that great of a match, just real plain. Then we get to my match of the night. This was this in the main event were kind of close, but Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. At first when they announced it as the stipulation as a steel cage match, I wasn't too thrilled, because steel cage matches have lost their aura and lost the meaning over the last few years. They kind of been kind of corny because not too much can go on. But WWE did something very different. I've never seen it done to this extent, where Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker both introduce weapons during their entrances, before the match even starts, and load the ring up with kendo sticks, tables, chairs, obviously, trash cans, and all sorts of weapons. And it just turns into a physical, brutal match inside the ring. Them just teeing off on each other. We got hella blood. Both men were bleeding, especially Braun Breaker. And it was just back and forth. Fake finishes here. And the ending, I thought, was just so cinematic. We have Seth Rollins, who started the whole vision, who had this whole plan, who was the mentor of Braun Breaker. And he's going for stomps, and Braun Breaker kicks out of one. Braun Breaker gets up, does his little break thing. Seth Rollins hits him from a super stomp from the middle or top rope and wins the match here. Finally putting an end to this feud. I thought this match was great. I like I said, them being able to be this brutal in this type of match really put it over top and sold it, in my opinion. I'm glad they were able to do that, because I was not too amped for this match, but they blew it out of the park and they exceeded my expectations. And obviously, I think Seth Rollins is going to go into the main event scene, possibly feuding with the Bloodline, because I feel like everything on Raw, if you're a main eventer, that's what you're going to be having to do. So I'm going to see him doing that, trying to get the title that he never lost. And as for Braun Breaker, there's no clear path for him, or he doesn't fit in too well with anything else. but he's so young, so good. He's over. WWE can easily find something for him to do. I don't know what it is, but hopefully WWE knows what it is. So overall, I'll give this a thumbs up. Really, really proved me wrong, exceeded my expectations. And then we get to Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Queen of the Ring. This match, first it started out with Danhausen coming and trying to cut a promo. Liv interrupts him. He ends up cursing Liv because she wants the money back for the Judgment Day. And she slaps Danhausen, and inevitably it leads to the match. These two have always had good matches. Going back and forth. Io tweaks her knee, so Liv kind of targets that. I thought that was a little bit corny for just no reason. They have her tweak her knee. But it leads to a Spanish fly by Io Sky into the over the moonsault, and Io Sky is able to beat Liv clean here. No interference, no turns from the Judgment Day, no one else getting involved. I wasn't too thrilled at it at first, and literally 30 seconds later, it changed my mind because Io after match would challenge. She picked Liv Morgan to face at SummerSlam for the Women's World Title, and that kind of really flipped my opinion because I thought, why the hell would you have Io Sky pin your Women's World Champion clean? No interference, nothing. Just beat her clean. It really lowers that title. It makes it like not as prestigious, or it makes Liv look just real weak, in my opinion. But they did this just a smart thing, and they said, no, we're just gonna run it back at SummerSlam. So I will applaud WWE for that because we're gonna get that match again, and. And everyone said the psychology of it works is Io said, I just beat you. I can beat you again, but I'm going to beat you for the title, which makes total sense. Makes a great storyline to tell. Like, I just beat you. I'm going to beat you for the title. You're lucky that wasn't for the title. And as for Liv Morgan, she's able to get her rematch as the champion. The champion gets her rematch against the challenger. That's essentially how that worked. And it's just a cool dynamic and how everything. So I thought that was good. At first I was heated because Liv lost, but now since they're just going to run it back, I don't have a problem with it. And you can really let these women cook because they didn't have a bad match at all. It was an okay match, but really let them go at it and let them build up a feud because the one promo they had on Raw was pretty decent. And so I'm excited for this. WWE made up for the whole thing, and people are going to be wondering, oh, why was Liv in the tournament anyways if she was going to lose? I just gave you all the reasons to build a feud and basically have the champion have a rematch. So, genius call. Slight little nice play. It was a trick play by WWE, I would say. So I'll give props to them. So I'll give this a thumbs up just because I got Io Sky and my wife Liv Morgan on the card. And then we get to what opened the show. We had Oba Femi versus Jey Uso. A good match, and they really had good chemistry. They look comfortable with each other. I could just tell they look like, I know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. Let's just go have a decent match. So that's what they did. No interference. No nothing. And Oba is really able to make himself still look strong, but put on a good match, which is what most huge big men have never been able to do. They've never been able to look vulnerable, but still look strong at the end. Brock Lesnar's incapable of doing that. A lot of these big men are. It eventually just leads to a fall from grace, and a pretty basic match of Oba picking up the win here, and again, cutting promo after match, calling out Brock Lesnar, saying that he's going to challenge someone at SummerSlam. So, overall, it was a good opener, and in my predictions video, I said I was going to lose my mind. I don't have to do that because they got it right and put Oba as the king of the ring. So, like I said, overall, I mean, I easy to predict for the most part. Which if the main event wasn't as good as it was, I would have been kind of disappointed. But since they pulled that absolute stunner with Sami Zayn, I'm gonna give this pay-per-view an A-. Because just maybe I'm being too nice because of how shit the product has been at the past few months. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna give it a B, just a B, because real predictable, kind of mid in the other stuff, but just the main event and the steel cage really set it over. So overall, B. I'm gonna stick with that. That's my lock right there. I'm happy with it. A nice little pay-per-view in the middle of the day. So thanks for watching. Tune in on Sunday for the Raw recap and review. We get to see where all this stuff goes. And SmackDown should be a little bit better than it has been because now we have something to grasp onto with Sami Zayn. Stay tuned for my UFC predictions with McGregor and Holloway. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be electric. I cannot wait for that to watch that fight, make my predictions on that video. Great card there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Have a good one.